I want to talk to you about what's going on in our schools. You pretty much know it, I believe, with CRT, but it's a lot deeper than that, and most of us know because we don't say anything. We don't say anything. Our kids come home and they tell us, and we don't say anything because we're just trying to keep the peace. That has got to end. Let me introduce you to somebody. His name is Jeff Harper. He lives in Irvine, California. He taught 8th grade U.S. history for 30 years. He coaches football, basketball, baseball in the community. He's a father of 6. He and his wife have sent 4 kids to Northwood High School, but things are getting really bad there. And I want to read a letter that he sent to the principal, but I want him to set it up. Welcome to the program, Jeff.
Hey, good to be here, Glenn. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. I have not read this story. I've seen this story in 3 places, and that's it. And I think that's because you've tried to be nice about it, and nothing is happening. So tell me the setup, and then I want to read pieces of your letter.
Okay, well, you know, like you had mentioned, my kids have been going to high school here in Irvine for a long time, and they've come home with, story after story, and I did go to the administration one time, and it just wasn't very effective. I went to talk to the vice principal, and then I told my daughter, hey, I'm going to have to, go talk to the principal, and she just begged me, hey, Dad, I've got to go to these classes. I got to see these teachers every day. You don't. And she's just, fretful of retaliation. So
Sure.
Unfortunately, haven't said something. And then last Saturday, my wife comes running into the room and just said, "Good grief! Can you believe what's in the yearbook?" And it was just crazy. There's 2 pages laid out in the yearbook. I counted about 24 references, political references, and out of those 24, 23 of them were slanted one way. You had a picture of President Trump, dark, gloomy, grumpy, and then opposite of that, President Biden there, just light, smiling like an angel. And then there was like
let me quote some of the points here on that page. Donald Trump using public funds for private schools, discredits scientists' COVID-19 research, promises a health care plan is being created to replace Obamacare, wants to create a wall to restrict immigration, claims he's not a racist. On the other side with Joe Biden, and there's more, by the way, on the other side with Joe Biden, increased opportunities in education, has a plan for addressing COVID-19 pandemic, believes in providing equal and affordable access to health care, supports pathways to citizenship, invests in racial equity. I mean, it is crazy that that's in a textbook, or I mean, not a textbook, but a yearbook. Crazy.
Yeah, even my Democrat friends say, the completely inappropriate platform and completely inappropriate content. The summation was, as Americans process the results, many celebrated the results as a victorious step away from the existing oppressive administration. That's the summation of the yearbook article.
Oh, my gosh.
So my wife and I,
okay,
what we
so
did was,
go ahead.
We went ahead and took a little snapshot of it and posted it in a couple community forums. One of them was called Next Door, and the reaction was amazing, instantaneously. And so what we started to do was to look at the favorable reactions and then private message them to try to get together the database of people that are willing to stand up against this. And then unfortunately, Nextdoor shut it down. And that's all we put in there was, hey, here's our yearbook page. We think this is inappropriate. Does anybody else agree with us? That's all we put in Nextdoor.
It seems reasonable.
Yeah.
And what did they say?
Nextdoor, they didn't. They just shut it down. People were just finally texting us and emailing us and saying, hey, your post is no longer, it's no longer there. So then, it was amazing what happened. Then people started to contact us with connections to like a local conservative newspaper blog, the Epic Times, Tucker Carlson, even a congressman. All sorts of stuff just started happening like crazy. And my reaction was, hey, I want the local school to have a chance to respond. But I sent them an email saying, hey, it's probably to your benefit to get out in front of this and just put out an email saying, hey, we're sorry that this came out in the yearbook. It was biased to one side, and we'll work real hard to make sure this doesn't happen again.
So
but,
I want to read this because I want to read this to the audience because it's one thing to say, and then we just responded and we were really nice. And it's another thing to actually read the evidence of how nice you were. This is the email that you sent. Thank you for all that you do. I know you're super busy and probably under a lot of stress. I'll be straightforward with you as possible. Kay and I, your wife, are very frustrated with how our kids have been treated at Northwood in regards to politics. We've not said much over the years out of respect to our children's wishes. The yearbook's biased political page was just another example of what a conservative faces at Northwood. We have no problem with kids' First Amendment rights to express their voice. However, do you really want to do that in a yearbook? Wouldn't that be better placed in a debate forum or a newspaper with an op-ed opportunity? Now that it's in the yearbook, what are conservative voices supposed to do? Wait until next year to respond? Those are voices that should have been silenced. We put feelers out in the Northwood community to see what others thought of the yearbook political pages. The response has been overwhelming. Some said outrageous, so wrong, completely inappropriate, not surprised at all, to name a few. Others said they were going to the district, the Board of Education, even the local, state, and federal politicians. We've been offered to connect with Tucker Carlson's show on Fox News and the Epic Times. I'm not including these to threaten you or to brag, but to illustrate that the situation is rapidly getting out of control. Since there's nothing we can do about bias in the yearbook and conservative voices were not heard or represented, we can ask you to put out school-wide emails stating the yearbook's political pages were biased towards Democrats and that the conservative voice was not heard. The email would not have to take away the yearbook staff rights, but to protect the rights that were not exercised. This would go a long way to help concerned parents feel that you will protect their children. I sincerely believe that such an effort on your part would also help you get out in front of this potential PR nightmare. We want to work together with you for unity in these divisive times. Jeff and Kay Harper. There's not a more reasonable email than that. What was the response?
Well, the response was she did ask me to meet with her, but did not agree to sending out the email and did not send out that email. And I know that there was multiple folks that had asked put in a similar request. So we're going to actually meet with the administration today. I'm going to bring a couple graduating seniors so that they can speak to her about their experience with all of this as well.
So I know that you turned Tucker Carlson down and everybody else, and you're going to meet with her today. Why are you taking this interview?
Well, for one thing, one of the things that I told her is that, hey, that there's stuff out there right now, and there's nothing I can do about it. And when the article,
you didn't call us, by the way, we called you.
Right, the article on the Fox News print website. After that, the cat was out of the bag. I gave them an opportunity to put that email out, and when it didn't happen, then somebody else went to Fox News, got a hold of somebody else, and they gave the information for that article, and the fact that there was no response, there was no email response. See, if she would have given that email response, then we wouldn't be talking right now.
Right. So. The response that you received from the community, I mean, I don't know anything about Irvine, California. Is it a conservative area or not? I mean, for you to speak out in California and post these things seems pretty frightening in and of itself. Were you surprised by the response?
I was surprised. This has been graduation week. We've got 3 kids graduating in 3 different levels. So we've been to all sorts of different parties, a lot of team parties as well. And yeah, everywhere I go, people are coming up to me saying, "Hey, I saw that. I saw what happened," and in the community forums. And it's just a buzz. And it is amazing to see that we hit a nerve. Incredible reaction, and it's encouraging. All sorts of ideas are coming to what we can do. It's time to stand up. I've heard all sorts of reactions. I said, like, from Democrats as well, that this is inappropriate. The graphic in the yearbook shows an 87% for Biden for the kids. So I think the community is for the most part conservative, but the
right.
But the schools,
you would think.
But the schools have been so successful in indoctrinating our kids. That's what this is an example of, and that's what's so scary. So so the parents. There was another one. There was a kid took this AP seminar test just this week, and the writing prompt question was, how would a community benefit from banning marriage? That was the writing prompt question. And so when people are hearing these things, they're just going, I can't believe it. Although we should believe it, they can't believe it.
Yeah.
And so what's encouraging is, I've kind of taken a back seat for 6 years, but just by doing a simple thing, by posting this into the community forum, what a big impact it has had. And there's a lot of buzz. And we've got all sorts of plans and things going on that are going to be happening, and we just hope we can benefit from the momentum of this here locally in our community.
Jeff, I hope so. Please keep us informed, and if you need support, we're here to support you and to get the message out. You haven't even touched on CRT yet, which I'm sure is in your school. But that is, there are groups and people all over the country that are now banding together. And I mean Republicans and Democrats saying enough is enough. So congratulations, Jeff. And please let us know what happens today at your meeting.
Will do. Just grateful to have the chance to show what's going on to our children in the schools and on our dime.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Jeff Harper, another brave parent